Hi, this is Jacob Nash with JNGL. Today, we will be looking at Unit 2 Review. Now, before I go any further, I need to point out something right now. So, I mentioned on one of the videos that I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, if you know, that's a Midwestern state, and we get tornadoes there a lot, and there happens to be one today. So, if you hear weird wind noises and rain noises, and lightning noises, or my house getting destroyed, then you'll know what that is. Go. Okay, that doesn't work. Alright, formulas to know. They're kind of ran together, but they're three separate things. This is one of them, y equals mx plus b, and then the other one is point slope form, and this is the y-intercept form. And so y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. And then the last thing is the rise over run thing in case you don't have graph paper. And you can see what that is. And here's the thing that I need to point out is that it says y1 minus y2 and then x1 minus x2. It could be also x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. It can change. Okay, so there are, I think, 13 or 14 questions, and I will read the question. You will pause it, and then you try to see if you can figure it out. So write the equation of a line parallel to x equals 6x minus 1 with the point of -4, 1. Now, I won't explain too much because I have other videos that explain it more, but this is just the review. And if there's a red background, that means it is standard 2.3. If it's a blue background, it's standard 2.2. And if it's a yellow background, that's 2.1. So this is a 2.3 standard. Pause the video. Okay, I'll go over it. So there's two ways you could do this, but I'm going over the one where you use the formula y equals mx plus b. You plug in for y, m, and x, and you try to solve for b. You multiply 6 and -4, and you get -24. You add 24 to both sides, and you find out that b equals 25. And then you can write the equation, because if it's a parallel line, you know that the slopes will be the same. And then we find out that's the y-intercept, which is b. Number 2, write the equation of a line perpendicular to y equals 4x minus 5 with the point 2, -1. Pause the video. So for this one, I'm going to again use the problem, y equals mx plus b, or the formula. And m will be -1/4 because it is the opposite reciprocal of 4. And remember, if it's perpendicular lines, you know that you have to do the opposite reciprocal for the slope. And the slope on the one that's given in the question is 4, and you have to change the sign to a negative and then flip over the fraction. 4 is the same as 4 over 1, so then it goes to 1 over 4 and then makes it negative. So plug in for everything except for b. You multiply -0.4 0. That is actually wrong, I just realized. If you actually do this right, that's -1 is not. The thing that you're supposed to do, the correct answer would be, let's see here, 5 times 2. It would be -0.5, not -1, sorry. But if it was 1, then you'd add 1 to both sides, and then you'd find that b is 0. Do that. But what it would actually be is the slope would still be that, but this would be minus 0.5. So if you got that, you're right. All right, number 3. Oh, I forgot to say. So yes. So those are or perpendicular because of that. Yeah. All right. Now, are these lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So if they are parallel, then their slopes will be the same. If they're perpendicular, the slopes will be opposite reciprocals. And if it's not either of those things, then it's neither. Pause the video. Subtract 8 because you want to get y by itself. Then you divide by 3. You get that. So the slope is 2 on this one. And for that one, you only need to divide by 3. And then the slope is 3. 3, 2, they are not equal, so these are not parallel lines. And they are not opposite reciprocals, so they're not perpendicular lines, so neither. They are neither. All right, now we are in standard 2.2. That was a weird thing to say. Sorry that I said it like that. But that's why the screen is blue now. All right, what are the angle relationships? So this stupid thing is blocking it, so let me put there. So pause the video, and you see. Okay, so A is 9 and 16. They are alternate exterior. Angle 5 and 10, alternate interior. Angle 4 and 12 are, let me wait for that thing to go away, corresponding, and 7 and 11 are consecutive or same side interior. Find x. So solve x. Pause video. Okay, so first thing that you know is since they're alternate exterior, the rule says that they are equal to each other. So you set them equal, get x's on the both same side, add 71, 3x equals 78, and you find that x equals 26. What can be proved? Pause the video. What can be proved? If angle 5 and 7 are equal. They are corresponding, so that means that the lines that they are by are going to be equal. Now, I forgot to name the lines, but let's say that this line right here, let me get the pointer in case you can't see. This line is going to be A, this one's going to be B, this one's going to be C, and this one's going to be D. So if that is the case, then the lines C and D are by the corresponding angles of 5 and 7. So that means A is parallel to B. What can be proved if angle 1 and 16 are equal? So they are vertical angles. That doesn't mean anything, so nothing can be proved. And then, gosh, it's starting to get windy out there. If angles 13 and 12 are if they are equal, they are alternate exterior. So that means C and D are equal, which are these two lines. Number 7, which segments are parallel? Pause video. Oh, well, how you would do this is you see the congruent signs, so these two segments are parallel because they have congruent things. So BF and DH, that's what they are. Okay, now we are on standard 2.1 because it's a yellow screen. Number 8, identify the hypothesis and conclusion of the statement below. That's weird. Pause the video. So if I wear a coat, then it won't be as cold. I won't be as cold. So it's everything except the if and then. They are not included in the hypothesis or conclusion. So the hypothesis is I wear a coat. I'm sorry that it didn't include I. I didn't mean to do that. And that can be displayed as P. But it does include I. It just doesn't include if. And then the conclusion, which includes, I won't be as cold. It does not include then. And it can be represented by Q. 9. Create a counterexample for the statement below. This video. If you're a boy, then you live in Germany. Well, first of all, is that false or true? It is false. So we need a counterexample if it's false. A counterexample would be many things, but one of them would be me, Jacob Nash. I do not live in Germany. And almost every other boy doesn't live in Germany, unless they are German. You could have some Slovak boys, and they're not in Germany. Or you can have some Cambodian boys, or American boys like me. Okay. And then questions 10 and 11 are both in this question slide. Write the converse of the statement that we're using the same one as before, and then also write the biconditional. Pause the video. Converse would be, if you live in Germany, then you are a boy. So it just reverses it. Yeah. Biconditional. You are a boy if and only if you live in Germany. That would be the biconditional. You take away the if and then, and you replace then with if and only if, which can also be displayed by IFF. Number 12. Draw a conclusion using the law of detachment. If you don't know what that is, watch video lesson or Unit 2, Lesson 1. That's the one that you can see if you don't know what that is. If a person lives in Arkansas, then they have seen a tornado. Jim lives in Arkansas. What can you tell from this, if anything? Pause the video. The conclusion that you can draw is Jim has seen a tornado. Now, you know what? Something that's tough about these things where you have to draw conclusions, sometimes if you think about it too hard, it won't make sense. You might think, well, maybe he just moved there and he has not seen a tornado yet. Well, that's not, we're not thinking of different scenarios. We're just thinking about what we know in general. We don't have any gray areas. It's either that or it's nothing. So if he lives in Arkansas, we're assuming that he has seen a tornado because it says that in the other one. And how you know that you can draw a conclusion is if the final statement matches up with the hypothesis. Draw a conclusion using the law of detachment again. If you make a 90 on the test, you will get to go to Brewster's. If you don't know what Brewster's is, it's an ice cream place. Mark went to Brewster's. So what can you tell, if anything? Pause the video. Conclusion is not possible. You might say that he made 90 on the test. That's why he got to go. But it does not match up with the hypothesis. It only matches up with the conclusion. And it has to match up with the hypothesis, which is you make a 90 on the test. And who knows? He went to Brewster's. Maybe he got an 80 on the test. But there's nothing that says that he got a 90, so you can't assume that. Okay. And then I think this is the last one. Draw a conclusion using the law of syllogism. Once again, if you don't know that, go to Unit 2, Lesson 1. If you're Amy, you go to Brewster's on Fridays. If you go to Brewster's on Fridays, you order cookies and cream. So this is like the chain events one. If the events... Okay, so you can pause the video. But if the events go together, then that means that you can draw a conclusion using the first and last statements. The first and last statements are, if you are Amy, and then you order cookies and cream. So, if these statements go together, the conclusion you could say is, if you're Amy, you order cookies and cream. So, if you are Amy, you go to the Brewster's on Fridays. If you go to Brewster's on Fridays, that matches up with the last sentence. So yes, we can conclude that if you're Amy, you order cookies and cream, ice cream at Brewster's. And then